So I think it's about time we get back to 22-250. I did a video like a year and a half ago on this cartridge. We loaded up our first shots. We were shooting my brother's gun. We tried out some bullets and progress stopped there. So time to get back to it. And today I want to shoot some more groups with the 40 grain Hornady V-MAX. Now back in the last video, we had the most luck with the Norma brass. We had a batch of Norma and a batch of Winchester. And the Winchester is a little bit crappy. We were having a few issues with it. And I think for the time being, I'm going to leave that for the future. We may actually wait until I get my own 22-250, because I mean, that's really the point here. I want to work up some loads for my brother's gun and then get it back to him and then get my own 22-250 to work with going forward. So from that batch of Norma brass, I had 99 pieces and 44 of them here are still brand new. They were fully prepped during that video. They're ready for powder and bullets. So no prep work necessary today. It's gonna be all about some range results. So with the 40 grain V-MAX and 35.5 grains of AR comp, that's what shot our best group in the last video. It was 0.66 inches. Velocity was 4,212 feet per second and an SD of 10. So we're going to stick with that charge weight, that 35.5 grain, and I want to try a bunch of different overall lengths. In the last video, we shot the standard 2.350 inches. I want to go 10 thousandths increments, so let's go a little bit shorter than that and start at 2.330, and we'll do 5-shot groups all the way out to 2.4 and just see what we see. So in the last video, we determined this bullet's jumping to the lands quite a bit. We've got, let me go back to those notes. Yeah, our max overall length with this bullet is 2.470. So even at 2.4 inches, we're still gonna have 70 thousandths, but that maxes out our magazine. And for my brother, I definitely wanna have rounds that are gonna, fit and function in the gun like normal. So the same primer as last time, the Federal GM 210Ms. And I think, that's it. Pretty straightforward today. I'm going to enlist the help of my Lyman Gen 6 to weigh out the charges. So this should go really quick. So I decided to use the RCBS Rebel today. These are seating nice and easy. If you remember back to the first video, the Norma brass, we had really nice smooth seating. And the Winchester is what gave us some problems. So this is nice and easy. So just seating 5, cranking the die down 10 thousandths and seating the next 5. Not much to it. Okay, so it's time to get started. My target is at 100 yards, and I've got the shot marker electronic target system running. The gun's the same as last time. It's a Remington model 788 with a Douglas barrel with a 1 in 14 twist. So I don't have the lab radar set up to gather velocity because, what was our velocity is 4212 with this load in the last video, and that's too high for the lab radar to read. And in the last video, I had problems getting the magneto speed chronograph to stay on the barrel. It was wanting to slide on me. So no velocity today. Velocity is not going to change much with these little seating depth changes anyway. All right, I'm going to shoot a couple sliders through it just to get it warmed up, double check our shot marker, make sure it's working okay, and then we can get started. Okay, so the gun's warmed up, and I shot 4 warm-up shots. The group wasn't great. It was about an inch, I think. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to start short and move long. So this first load is 20 thousandths shorter than what we shot in the last video. So this is 2.330. Let's see what happens. Okay, first group 0.79 inches. You know, it's interesting. The first 4 shots I took, the siders, unfortunately I removed them, or I deleted them from shot marker, but so like the first 2 shots went low, and then the last 2 started grouping about this, you know, 1:32 o'clock position on my dot. Interesting. Yeah, so just looks like a definite upward point of impact shift there as our barrel warmed up. And I'm just going to hide these and use the same target, a bit easier to analyze later. All right, I'm going to give the gun just a second, then we'll move on to the next group. Okay, next up is our 2.340 inch overall length. We're still 10 thousandths shorter than we were in the last video. Let's see what happens. Well, that 4th shot really screwed us up, didn't it? What are we looking at? A 0.92 inch group. Let's see what it looks like without 4. Yep, the other 4 were 0.47 inches. Yeah, that's promising. All right, another couple minutes to let the gun cool down, and then we'll keep on trucking. This next overall length is it's 2.350, so we're back to where we were in the last video. And let's see, our group in that video was 0.66. So it should be similar to what we've been seeing so far, I would imagine. These are very confusing results, and my camera's out of focus. Awesome. Worry about the camera in a minute. All right, let's 1.37 inches. Like, these are all clearly wanting to group right in that same spot. We're just getting flyers. I mean, I am fighting the gun. I definitely am. I just need to bear down here. Let's see what it was without 1 and 3. Those other 3 stacked right in there, 0.24 inches. Well, okay, 1.37. Let's write it down. Okay, now it's time to start getting longer than we shot in the last video. This one is 2.360. I've taken some time to try and get my bags a little bit more comfortable. I mentioned this in the last video, and you know, I'm still fighting it today. Like, I don't want to move them, but I'll try and remember to like insert a picture here or something. I do have a bag with very, very large ears. Yeah, large ears that hold the stock a little bit better. Been trying to find a good stable rest and been fighting it a little bit today. All right, let's stop fighting it. Let's shoot a itty bitty tiny little group. All right, that's more like it. That's much more like it. Good deal. So that is a 0.47 inch group. Kind of wanted to zoom out a little bit and see point of impact wise. Yeah, pretty close to where we expected it. Couple factors. All right, so that was my longest cool down so far. Like, yeah, probably had a good 10 minute, 15 minute cool down there. I also, like I mentioned, kind of just readjusted all of my positions. I've got my gun sitting a lot better than I did earlier. Plus our seating depth is moving out. So I don't know which one did it. Can't say for sure. Okay, next up, 2.370. Wow. Well, that went to crap in a hurry, didn't it? I thought that third shot might have been me because the gun jumped a little bit weird on me. So, you know, I clearly didn't have my bags where I wanted them. But the fourth and fifth were fine. All right, next up, our overall length is 2.380. I have no idea what's about to happen. After seeing those last two groups, like, yeah. Hang on, is that what happened? I just noticed that my freaking sling swivel was up against here. I need to remove that stupid thing. Maybe that's what happened with the last group. I had let my gun slowly recoil back and then it was bouncing around like crazy. All right, let me reset again and we'll start from a new position that definitely has plenty of room. Hopefully that's what it was. All right, we tightened right back up. So yeah, maybe that's what was going on. I'll have to see during editing. Well, that's good, I guess. It sucks, but it's good. Okay, 0.63. Been trying to give this guy a little bit of time to cool down. Barrel's definitely getting hot. Let's see, what have we fired so far? Yeah, so we've shot 34 shots in, I've been on the range an hour and 45 minutes. 10 more to go. Okay, 2 more groups to go. I forgot to clear off this one. Did I write it down? Yep, I did remember to write it down, just forgot to clear it. Okay, next up, 2.390. Okay. Man, this is a weird target. It's just a weird target. It's one of those where I always sit back and just think, like, are they all the same? You know, if these were, let's say they were 100-shot groups instead of 5-shot groups, like, will they all just end up looking the same? Is this little guy over here, which was our best group, is it really the best load of the day? Definitely a lot of variation. All right, 0.92. Good deal. All right, one more to go, but I'm going to let this guy cool down a little bit. I'll tell you what, I should probably do 25-shot videos. Like, you know, kind of my traditional video has been 50 shots, and I'm starting to think, you know, I should treat this gun kind of like I do sometimes in 300 Win Mag, where we'll just do 25 shots because of barrel heat and stuff. That might be the way to go. But yep, 5 more shots to go, but I'm going to give her just a few minutes. Okay, last group, 2.4 inches. crap. All right, we got some thinking to do here. I mean, I think this is, it's an improvement over the last range trip in the last video a year and a half ago, because we didn't have the magneto speed slowly slipping off the barrel and coming off the end. And yeah, I don't know. Let's think it over. Let's get back to the bench. We'll figure it all out. So our brass here with the spent primers are the ones from today, and they all look the same and they all look great. Primers don't look the least bit flattened. Case head just looks perfect. Everything just looks perfect. So that's all good. So raise your hand if you noticed that my front rest was backwards all day today. I'm sitting there editing the video thinking, how in the world did this happen? Because I set up my bench the same way every time. I've got a lot of crap to drag out there. So the first thing that goes out is the gun, the front rest, and a rear bag, so that I can sit it there, have a place for the gun to rest while I'm getting all my other stuff. And usually I just plop it on the bench, like wherever it happens to land. But I think what happened was whenever I took it out there and just plopped it down and sat the gun on it, it was almost in the perfect spot. It was just rotated 180 degrees. So whenever later on, after all of the other stuff was set up, and I sat down to do my initial bag adjustments, the front rest hardly needed moved, so it never kind of dawned on me that I haven't already aligned it properly. Yeah, because what it ended up doing was all of my knobs were reversed, right? So the knob that I'm used to loosening and tightening for minor height adjustment was actually loosening the whole course adjustment. So you'll notice like the front rest is loose the whole time, or a good portion of the time, and I was fighting my rear bag so much that that's really like where my focus was. And the weirdness of like my adjustments up front just seemed to be like the least of my worries. I was worried more about what was going on in the rear. So I don't know. What a mess. And then the other time where I had, the front sling stud hitting the front rest wasn't any good either. So what can we learn from our final target, given all of those problems? Well, I think we could definitely say, without question, this bullet is going to shoot well in this gun. Like once we get to the other end of this and we've got everything straightened out, I think shooting consistent groups like the best ones we shot today are going to be possible. And that makes the trip worthwhile. That makes we were still fire forming brass. This was the first firing on this brass. And just like kind of getting all of your components and everything in a row before you get serious about too much. Same thing goes with my shooting setup. Like I've got to improve. I've got to turn my freaking front rest around the right way, but I need to find the right front bag and the right rear bag and the right setup that gets me shooting good groups with this gun. I'm not that far away. Like I'm not that far away from it. I just need a few little tweaks to get it resting properly. The other problem is I have no confidence in the Tasco scope that's on this gun. I'm used to clear glass. I'm used to a little bit more forgiving eye box. I'm used to what I'm used to. So I need to try and look around and see what my options are with a 1-inch tube, because the bases on the gun right now have a 1-inch tube, and I don't have a huge selection of 1-inch scopes. Now, one option I've got is one of these Weaver. Hang on one second. What I'm probably going to go with is this Weaver. This is a fixed power 24x40. Now, this is a bench rest scope. It's the same series of scope that's on the 6PPC. So crosshairs are itty bitty tiny. It wouldn't be something I could leave on there for my brother, but it might be better for testing. Or, we could put it on there and see what happens. And then later, once we've got our loads worked up for this gun, we could put the Tasco back on and try it out again maybe. That's probably what I'll do. And the next thing I want to do for the next video is go to some heavier bullets. I want to get these velocities down. And that'll maybe just reduce barrel wear a touch while we're kind of spinning our wheels trying to get everything figured out. Marksmanship wise, equipment wise, and even component wise. Like maybe at 4,200 feet per second, we're getting close to the limit on these V-MAXs, but I don't think so. Right here on the package, it does say, recommended muzzle velocity range 2,000 to 4,000 plus. So probably not time to be blaming the bullets yet, but if we get all of these other things figured out and we're still getting unexplainable flyers, then backing down velocity might be needed. I'm not sure. We're a long way from that. We've got more than enough stuff to fix that we've already identified. So I guess that's it for today. We'll see if it takes another year and a half for me to put out another video. It shouldn't. That's not the plan. I need to get this project done. So this video is getting posted on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And what I want to start doing is having one every single Sunday night at this exact same time. I eventually plan to have more than that, you know. I think 2 or 3 videos per week is more reasonable, but let's start small. Every single Sunday at 8, there will always be a video here on this channel. There might be additional videos through the week, but you can always bank on Sunday night. So that's it for this one, folks. Thanks for joining me. See you guys next time.